The doctor came to me and said, "Your husband's dying, and you need to bring him home and call hospice and have hospice come to the house." When I got home, I called Norwell Visiting Nurse Association. The kind woman on the phone said to me, "Don't bring him home. We have a beautiful place, and we have space, and it's called the Pat Roach House." Our home was loving, but our home would have been crazy, and I knew that people would come in and out, and I knew that we would have company, and the dog would bark, and it would just be crazy, and I didn't want that for him in his last days. I wanted quiet, and I wanted love, and I wanted peace, and I felt I would find that here, and I did, and I'm so glad I made that decision.
It was peaceful, it was warm, it was welcoming. I felt I could leave the stress of the day at the door and really focus on my family and my grandfather.
I could tell from the minute I met the people who were running the house that they were going to care for him and they were going to care for me, and it was wonderful.
Days go by and you realize you haven't really eaten. So being able to come to the Pat Roach home and go down into the kitchen downstairs, or they had a little kitchen on the main level, and they had dinner there for us and refreshments, so we didn't have to worry about that, and we could just really focus on being with the family.
It's just such a beautiful place. I can't think of a better place for families to come when they're in this terrible, tragic time of their lives. Even though we were going through this sad experience, there was also a lot of joy there because we were together, and that was made possible because of the Pat Roach House.
The first night that my grandfather was here, it was the longest day of the year, and that was the night my grandfather was still conscious, and his view in his room was absolutely spectacular. Pink and purple, that was one of his favorite things. The sunset, so one of the first things he had said in a few days was "Oh geez, isn't that marvelous?" We were all taken aback because he hadn't really spoken that much, and so I ran down to the veranda, took a deep breath and looked at it on my own and took a picture to capture that moment because I knew it was probably going to be the last one that he would see.
If you really want to have an impact on families, this is the best place to send your money, because everything here is about making the end-of-life experience for someone a wonderful experience, if that's possible. And it is possible. This was a lifesaver for us. I just can't even tell you enough about what a lifesaver this was for us. I felt connected, I felt cared for, I felt there's love here.